It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
If you're looking to take your gardening skills to the next level, then tune in to the Beat Podcast, your ultimate companion on the journey to a greener thumb. We've got the best tips, insightful interviews with passionate and experienced gardeners and farmers, and real-time updates on what we're doing in our own gardens to help you grow a greener thumb. There is a reason we are the most downloaded gardening podcast of all time. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned pro, subscribe to The Beat.
No space, no room to move around, and this box is getting smaller. I'm trying to get out. How did I get so far from where I was? When did I decide to lose my way?
You used it in the wrong episode, man, but that's okay.
Yeah. I have already been gifted an episode song for this one. But what's going on, everybody? I am the one, the only, the W-O-O-K-I-E, joined by one misfit short of a Happy Meal. We act like that's not a regular basis thing. But we have the Ewokiest of Ewoks, Ewok Jr.
Hello, KeyForge community. Glad to be our sane, full 24-pack of chicken nuggies.
He'll be around eventually. I account for about 20 of those chicken nuggies, but... and we have our resident PhD, Dr. M. Sheep.
I think we're more like the $1 4-pack at Burger King.
It's possible. But we're skipping all this stuff. I know you put a lot of hard work into it. I'm going to give you a brief intro. Nico's next weekend. Either you're going or you're not. Who won ABR? Is it over yet?
Nope.
So nobody cares.
Nope, we're in the finals.
All right.
It's rigged.
Yay. Discovery releases tomorrow.
There are a few pictures on the internet of people with Discovery stuff, so it is going out.
By the time you listen to this, Discovery will be out, but you will have none because nobody knows about it.
Well, no. There's a number of people in the community who will know about it, and that's because they're excited. It's just, is Gigi going to tell anyone about it? And that answer is...
We'll get to that when we get to our, is it bottom 8, bottom 10 worst things of 2025 for this year? I mean, it's the same thing, right? You know what we're going to bitch about. Let's just go down the list.
10 bad things for 2025?
Yeah,
wow.
We have 8.
We're in 2024.
I'm sorry, 2024. 2025, we expect more of the same. But no marketing, no article, no nothing. If you know, you know. I'm winking at all of you. You can't see it. Wink.
Come on, Gigi, do better. Like, seriously.
I see Dev in the audience now. I want to play Smash or Pass with Dev and explain to him why Tupac would smash. But let's get into the bottom 8 things for KeyForge 2024. Number 8. This one you're going to have to explain to me, Dr. Sheep. It is tokens of change.
Yeah, that's it. It is on my list of things I don't like from last year.
Great.
It feels so unbalanced. It's not a very good experience to play with generally. And it's just, it doesn't add good things to the competitive scene, in my opinion. It adds a lot of added stuff, and all the tokens to the new houses is cool. But at the same time, like, that set does not feel like it was ready for release.
And then there's me, who wholeheartedly disagrees with Sheep. Bring on the degeneracy. I like degenerate stuff. So kind of plays with our next point 7. right? Which is the watch me play scenarios. I think you're mainly pointing this at Grim Reminders. Am I incorrect at that? Still you,
I
Dr.
think-
Sheep.
Yeah, I think this one was me.
Oh, this one I figured was you. It must have been
Yeah.
Drazkor, who's not here.
Yeah. I will say that we are seeing a higher occurrence. I know this is Drazkor's baby, so he can talk a little bit more about it. But when we're talking card balance for the new sets, there definitely seems to be a large discrepancy that we're seeing with GG created sets versus previous FFG sets. I will also say a subtopic here would be the amount of cards per set. With the decrease, you have seen, I don't know, some of the lows are really, really bad on some of the decks, and some of the highs are really, really high. So I don't know, Wookie, I know you enjoy that sort of thing, but as a whole, I don't think that it's good game design, and I think it's problematic for our game long.
Well, I think the main thing we have to focus on here is who is the market? Who's your market? Is it kitchen table players or is it competitive players?
Well, for us, we want to talk as competitive players.
Correct.
That's what the whole point of the cast is. But I think that they have really narrowed in that it is your kitchen table players. That's what I'm seeing.
That's what they want to market to. So, I mean, with more sets, I'm sorry. Actually, you know what? I'm not sorry. Ember Skies is doo-doo. It's bad. There's nothing good about it. It's horrid.
Disagree on that, but
You can disagree all you want until it does something. I'm not holding my breath.
it took the open for Archon.
Yeah, I took the open for Archon.
I mean,
Even a blind
do you
chick will
want?
find us a kernel of corn every now and again.
DT didn't do that. TT
Well-
had to be required for Alliance.
DT's a special animal we put in the corner and don't talk. You know that child we all don't talk about? That's DT.
Can I say the same for AOA?
We talk about
mean,
AOA, but not in a good way. That's
Amber Skies has not been out nearly long enough to
Hold
have it
that
do
same.
anything.
Yeah. And I will argue, if you actually look at what some of the Amber Skies decks have, I think there are a number of decks that have a lot of potential, that have lanes, and I think that you're going to see them being played.
I think Wookiee just hasn't experienced the degeneracy that comes out of that set.
Yes. But
And it's like tokens of change, and like if you don't get typically like one of the two things that makes it good, you get a bunch of junk.
And so that really comes back when I'm saying, card balance. Just make sure that there is a balance to the sets where they play tested. Like, I don't know. There's just some real concerns. I know Dev here. I like the idea from a previous episode that you talked about with having kind of that hierarchy of, three main components. So two that represent the base for each house and one representing kind of what the theme is for the set in that individual house. And I think that's honestly missing. I think that we need to have something that's a little bit more substantial. And maybe the question is it because there's so many sets that are coming out that were pushed in a very, very short period of time?
No, there's too many bad card designs. Right? There are just too many with a smaller set. You don't have as much room for bad cards. And there are a lot of cards that do absolutely nothing.
Bad cards are definitely more impactful. That's really the truth, though, is that good cards are even higher impactful because you get more copies of them.
Possibly,
And it's
depending on where they
the
sit.
discrepancy in decks is big.
I mean, I don't know. I see Morgan in the audience. Ember Skies has the highest ceiling. It's okay. You can be wrong.
I don't think that
I have
is
not
wrong.
yet. I mean,
she's
I've been
fine.
gone for a little while, but where is this degeneracy anyone's talking about?
Pip enhanced, couple of artifacts, and Pip enhanced corner the markets. They're ridiculous.
Yeah. So if you get one thing,
But that's what we're looking at for any competitive deck, is that it's such a high niche, 0.002%. Like, you're not talking every standardized deck that's coming out.
See, but that was the fun thing about the last set, is that there was a lot that could make things broken and busted, and you had an opportunity. Now we're back to, well, maybe you get a good deck, maybe you probably don't.
Yeah, GR definitely had a few more options for making things than some of the current sets do.
It was extraordinarily more exciting.
I mean, it's... Yeah, I mean, I think GR's on average more powerful.
I was more excited, and still am more excited to open a GR deck than I will ever be to open an Ember Skies deck.
Hey, guys.
GR's not sold out, so you can keep buying it.
I do.
Hey, how far into the rant are we?
We are. Well, we're kind of bumping around here.
Yeah, I mean, let's give the quick summary for Draz. Hello, Draz. Welcome.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're looking to take your gardening skills to the next level, then tune in to the Beat Podcast, your ultimate companion on the journey to a greener thumb. We've got the best tips, insightful interviews with passionate and experienced gardeners and farmers, and real-time updates on what we're doing in our own gardens to help you grow a greener thumb. There is a reason we are the most downloaded gardening podcast of all time. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned pro, subscribe to The Beat.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And then Wookie skipped all of the top, going through a very, very brief, abbreviated piece. We had talk.
Yeah. Did you make him go back like you normally do?
No, he just kept running.
What?
Over again.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Sheep had tokens of change. He does not like that. And Wookie, watch me play scenarios. That was, we had hypothesized that was you from.
Yes, I did.
Talk us through watch me play scenarios. Why did you have?
Yeah, so the reason I put watch me play scenarios is because sometimes I hear folks complain about GR or one of the newer sets about how it's just too strong, and I don't think that is the right complaint in my personal opinion. Right now, you can have whatever opinion you want, even if it's wrong. But in my mind, the problem that is in a subset of GR is that the strong thing turns into you just have to sit there and watch me do stuff for 5 minutes. And at the end of that, you're screwed, or, I win. And I don't think those are good experiences for the game. I think we should want to have strong things in the game, but we shouldn't have things that are strong, or even things that aren't that strong, where it's I just loop things forever and
hold on,
for a long time. And
let me just
watch me play.
Let me just
while you sit there.
I'm paging. Oh yes, yeah. You can concede at any time. The rulebook says so. I don't know if you hear this piece of paper.
This is true.
That's me flipping through the rulebook.
This is true, but
you're able to concede at any time. Happens all the time in high end card games.
So, but here's where I think KeyForge is different and unique. KeyForge, with the premise of it being a race game, I want to see that we're coming neck and neck, and that there's some jostling going back and forth. If you just bust out and all of a sudden there is no chance coming back, it's no longer fun. And so, I don't know. I want to see that there is a fair fight, that it's at least close. I'd also like to see that it's not just straight card pull. Okay, you pulled better cards than me, but there's some skill and the ability to pilot and to run my deck.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think you are in the wrong game. Not gonna lie to you at all. Let me tell you. There's an old wrestling promo that's called "The Cream Always Rises to the Top." The cream is those top decks. They will rise to the top. The top decks will always be
a top
in the
deck.
Yes, the top decks will always rise to the top.
They have a higher. Go ahead, Dres.
Well, but we're not seeing a single deck or a single archetype always be the thing. There are a number of really strong decks.
Hey, Sheep.
Stop.
How many accolades does Fraud have?
Couple.
You?
Does Fraud have a high chance at being able to make top table for Archon?
Yes.
We all agree on that.
No matter who's piloting it.
But no. But here's the next question.
To a second place finish.
But is Fraud guaranteed to make it? And the answer there is no. It has a higher probability, but is not guaranteed to make it. And I think that's a distinction that we need to be able to state.
Yeah, I do. There's definitely, if you've been playing the game for a bit and have opened, a few dozen decks, right? So a bit's not super long there. But if you're newish to the game, you open a few dozen decks, you're like, I'll go to a big event. I think you'll have a lot of fun, but I don't know that you have a great chance for Archon for winning the whole thing. Now you do have a chance at Sealed, but I don't know that's not necessarily bad though. I don't think that's bad. Like I think overall the meta is relatively healthy.
Yeah, I think in comparison to other games, the meta is very healthy. I appreciate being able to see that. I also think that there should be a reward for people who play their decks and who are involved heavily in this game. That, yes, they should be able to be successful versus someone just coming in off the street and going ahead and, hey, I don't know anything about KeyForge, but I'm going to go ahead and make that top 8 table. I don't think that's expected in any single card game.
Right.
All right. Should we move into M+ gigantic pull rates?
Yeah.
I don't have my wah horn. or my price is right. Bum bum ba bum. Whoa.
So I think Sheep was the first one to put this in. But I do agree.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Like we're all excited that they're going to make some new stuff. It was going to have these new creatures that you're going to want to play. And then the drop rate was...
And then you don't get the new creatures you want to play.
Yeah.
Okay, on a side note, because I definitely had this, and this bothered me this year, we voiced it. Has anyone else in the audience, and I want you guys to send in some messages on our Archons Corner Discord. Has anyone else noticed that the rate seems to be higher on more recent, more mass mutations boxes than our earliest sets, the earliest boxes that came out? So
Morgan
says Morgan and Kirk
says
both,
yes.
I'm not joking. Like, I do think that has been tweaked because we have complained about it. And if so, I appreciate it. But I am telling you, it seems higher than when the boxes that came to the stores, it seems significantly lower. And right now, it's been pretty high. So I appreciate that.
So all right, so it was a few weeks ago now, but I knew my store owner purchased additional more mutation. And I normally buy one when I'm in there. I'll buy more Amber Skies, Talk, whatever. But I'll buy one, right? But I was starting to slow down. I was like, do I still want to buy one? Like, it's...
Nope. The answer is no.
The chances I'm going to get something. But somebody was like, let's play more mutation. So there was 5 of us that night. So we all bought. I'm not sure if everybody got from the new box or not. I just know that I bought last, and 3 of the 5 of us got a gigantic. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I actually got a gigantic. And then the week after that, I bought another one and I got a gigantic again. And I was like, sweet. And tonight, I went to the store. I did buy an MM. I actually didn't open it, though. I didn't get to... We ended up playing not More Mutation. And I don't know. I'm not going to open it because I only open when I play it. So I'll have to wait and see.
Open it.
But then I haven't played.
Yeah.
You can still play
after I bought all that French AOA and just ripped it all open and then didn't play any of it, I was like, this was just a waste. So I only open decks if I'm going to play them. So, but in that small sample size, there's definitely been a lot more. And what was it? A couple weeks ago when I bought the second time I got the gigantic, the other guy who we decided to have a MM matchup, he also opened a gigantic. So of the last 7 that I was paying attention, 5 of them had gigantics. So that doesn't prove anything, but
No, it doesn't. The sample size is very, very small.
Yeah.
But it feels like there has been a switch. And I'm going to tell you, if it is actual reality, I appreciate it because early on it was a real turnoff. We had people, we went through full box. There was nothing, not a single gigantic there. And okay, it is basically then more mass mutation. There just was more of it and not anything that we were excited to be able to play. And it really was a downer for our group and for me personally being able to draw. And then to see the new box came in after we had sold through a couple of them, the new box, it seems to be every other deck that we're going ahead and pulling. Again, smaller sample size, even with that 12, but I like seeing the larger gigantic. I like to see a higher amount of them. So if that's a change that has happened, thank you. I actually went and picked up a few more just because, hey, let's go ahead and pull some gigantics. I think they're fun to play with, if nothing else. And if we're looking, Wookie, at that earlier topic of, hey, we're trying to play for some casuals, some people who are sitting around a kitchen table.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're looking to take your gardening skills to the next level, then tune in to the Beat Podcast, your ultimate companion on the journey to a greener thumb. We've got the best tips, insightful interviews with passionate and experienced gardeners and farmers, and real-time updates on what we're doing in our own gardens to help you grow a greener thumb. There is a reason we are the most downloaded gardening podcast of all time. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned pro, subscribe to The Beat.
Then throw in more of the gigantics. Why not? It's not going to go ahead and break the game open and completely bust it compared to everything else that we're seeing. So put in multiple gigantics. Let's have some fun with it. Let's see what it can do.
Totally.
Yawn. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Wookie, have you opened a gigantic?
No.
And if you were to, would you get excited by it?
No.
It's just not cool enough for you.
Would you get excited by anything right now?
Yeah. Yes. I would. If I got a Vault Tour caliber deck, I would get excited.
That's because you won the lottery if you've pulled that.
But I'm tired of it being about winning the fucking lottery every time I go to open a KeyForge deck.
I did open my highest SAS deck tonight.
Then this isn't the game for you.
Maybe it isn't.
That is half the feature of KeyForge is that it's not I can just go buy and play the same deck everybody else is playing. Yay.
Well, maybe
Wookie,
it's not but I will tell you that I felt a ton better and still do feel a ton better opening Grim Reminders than I do any other set in KeyForge.
Yeah, it's a strong set.
Right. And it gives me the feeling that I can go buy it and do well somewhere. As opposed to buying it and knowing I'm going to be in the bottom echelon because I pulled trash.
And I hear that. I do feel that Grim Reminders...
I hate to tell you, these new players don't want your shit decks. It's like, remember Reforge or whatever? What was it? Project Reforge? Where we'd wrap up all our shit decks and give them to someone?
I mean, if it gets them into the game...
I don't think that gets anyone into the game.
That was the idea.
The idea was fine. Like, here's some free product. Get into the game. Have some fun.
I don't think you realize, Wookie, how many more players there are that are not like us, that they keep every deck, they track what they've done with every deck, they care about every deck.
I track every deck.
You know, that is not me, and that is definitely not you, but there are a lot of players who are like that.
Well, then they need to speak up, because I don't know where everyone keeps talking about these magical players that, like,
you don't talk to anybody.
Stuff.
How the hell would you know?
I talk to lots of people. Talking to you right now.
Well, I'm not that person.
But all these magical players that exist out there
far
somewhere.
from that person. Now, like, I do
start going to your locals. You'll talk to 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah. Like Morgan put in the chat, discovering your deck is a huge part of this game for me, IMO. Like, I agree. Like, yes, there are certain decks that are just, you know, you can't redeem them. But
you can't turn chicken shit into chicken salad.
No, but if you picture
but most decks are fun to play. Most.
And for the cost, even right now at $15, I can go ahead and spend $15 and have a great time with friends, being social, playing card game. Like, that's, if you're going out to try and grab food, or you're trying to grab a drink, or you're trying to go ahead and watch a movie, that $15 is a great deal for us. I really do see that. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of benefit for being able to play the decks. I know you talk about, like, Sheep over here is trying to go ahead and smuggle his deck to anyone who will take it. And that's his joke, is he's leaving every single game is like end of his locals. But that's fine. Like, he's looking for that absolute gem. And for everything else, he doesn't need to hold on to it. Unfortunately, I'm still that person who's scamming everything in, putting it into my boxes. I
just
threw
away
more like Sheep, but
I just threw away 3 boxes.
And that's fine if that's where you are, but I think that there are a lot of other people who really enjoy exploring, who enjoy being able to sort, enjoy collecting, enjoy being able to think about what's the interaction, and to be able to replay the decks.
What are you What are you collecting? What is there to collect in this game?
Actually, there's quite a bit. I've been organizing my own KeyForge items, and so you have different border decks. You have, like, I save KeyForge. You have you have different language decks that people will go ahead and search after. There's people who will search for different cards. Okay, I went ahead and I really want to collect Time Traveler. You can see that there are different aspects for collecting in this game that are entertaining and engaging for people. And if that's helpful, great. I know this is really silly, but when I first got into Magic way, way, way back in the day, I spent more time actually reading the cards, and that got me excited about literature and reading because of their connection with some actual books that were there from antiquities and other components. There is more to this than just, hey, we're playing for a competitive level. So people are in it for different reasons. Let them have fun in their own way.
So back in Coda, before I had a sense of what I was doing, I was like, I'm going to get every rare. So, you know, I would like keep buying
I
decks.
think we have a local who's still trying to do that.
Wow. This came up in chat recently. I'm pretty sure the last rare was Bullet Eye. I didn't have Bullet Eye until I finally got it. So once I did that for Coda, I didn't really think about it again for later sets and whatnot.
You want to drive up to Wisconsin? I'll give you another 4 boxes. I would think most of them are Coda. You probably got a set's worth in there.
Sweet.
So I can say this. At this point, I am over 1,000 decks. But this past weekend, when I was going ahead and going through all my KeyForge items, I discovered my original spreadsheet of my first 6 Coda decks and how I had gone ahead and scored before decks of KeyForge existed. Just looking at some of the stats that we had pulled, I know that we've talked about the other scoring mechanism that was there before, but it was actually really nice to reminisce about those decks and to think about them. Are they competitive? No. But do they have good memories for me? Yes. And that's something important for KeyForge, is that decks can have meaning because of how many times you've played them, or where you've played them at and what level, and just when did you get them? Why? I mean, from the naming decks to there are lots of reasons that I think that KeyForge is doing a nice job at being able to bring people in. We want to have a median where these decks are not pointless. There are still too many that fall in that manner, but I like the meaning that's behind a lot of them.
But yet again, you made the meaning. The deck didn't. The company didn't. You have a meaning towards it.
Because I attached it with playing some games.
Right,
I attached it with being able to play against you guys.
Yeah.
But isn't that it?
True
Like
of every game?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how are we going to do anything different?
I have some ideas, but that's for another show, and then they'll adopt those ideas and then claim they didn't adopt those ideas. But let's let's go into too many sets in a year. Ember Skies, Tokens of Change, Grim Reminders, Vault Masters 24, MMM.
Did I miss any others?
I don't believe you talk. No, you got talk. Sorry, that was number 2.
There.
I think you got all 4 sets from this year.
5
set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 5 sets from this year. I almost feel like the Vault Masters set should be like in a level of their own for complaint, because Vault Masters 24 was doo-doo caca. Like, that has to be the worst pile of trash that I have ever seen ever. Somehow Drazcor is going to try to not make it terrible.
Well, no, I was just going to say I knew it was terrible. I realized I didn't think it was that bad until I heard on Sloppy Lab Work that it might supplant DT as the best set. I was like, well, clearly it's terrible then.
There you go, Wookie. I put it as 5.2.
5.2. Thank you. I appreciate that. Grim Reminders.
I mean, you can get quad routine jobs.
But like the problem is with the
you get 6 routine jobs. I don't know if you guys saw that.
You got 6.
GM24?
That might not be. That
you can
actually
get it in
talk. I think that's talk. Now I got to look.
No, you can get that in what's it called?
Yeah, Morgan's saying in a Discord there's a talk deck with 6 jobs.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
There's a talk deck with 6 routine jobs. Yep. That was open the other day.
Yay.
So to come back,
thing.
Yeah. So coming to this topic,
there's a rarity to collect.
Mm-hmm. Got to go to China.
Because of course I do.
I get the idea. I get the idea. I mean, to come back to our number 5.
Too much.
I get the idea for more mass mutations being there as exclusive to our stores. I like the idea. The implementation with the amount of Gigantics was problematic. We talked about that earlier. But the amount of sets in a year.
How to have fun, anytime, anywhere. Step 1, go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2, collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3, play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4, unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
If you're looking to take your gardening skills to the next level, then tune in to the Beat Podcast, your ultimate companion on the journey to a greener thumb. We've got the best tips, insightful interviews with passionate and experienced gardeners and farmers, and real-time updates on what we're doing in our own gardens to help you grow a greener thumb. There is a reason we are the most downloaded gardening podcast of all time. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned pro, subscribe to The Beat.
It, especially with them being grouped together, it just wasn't. It wasn't.
Here's one of my bigger problems in all of this.
It was a problem,
right? More mass mutations is not allowed to be clumped with just regular mass mutations. Even though,
I did think that was interesting. Like, if you
and
wanted
then
to,
Vault Master
if you're an
24
Alliance guy, why not?
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're all gung ho on Alliance, which clearly they are, because that shit's still around, I'm terribly sorry, everyone.
Thank you for your donation.
It's still the same set, right? You just expanded upon it, so let people Alliance with it. Last I checked, mass mutations wasn't exactly busting the doors down in Alliance. Am I wrong on that one? I'd have to go back and check. But
we also didn't have like a clean MM time frame, right? Like,
right, but clearly it's not good enough for people to go back to it.
I don't know. Morgan just said MM won a vault this year in Alliance, so clearly we know things.
When? Please provide details.
This year was double jar. Oh yeah, the double jar deck. That's right. That was Varghast, right?
Yeah, it was Varghast. That was an MM.
Who's
deck?
in the chat? So Varghast can let us know
confirm
if we know things.
Either way, I don't see why. So we're going back to old sets and releasing new things. Why not allow it to be at least Alliance? Like they're really gung ho on Alliance, and as much as Josh and all them want to say, we won't be running them back to back, or we won't be running them. You won't be able to play all three this year. I know that's a line of bullshit, and so does everyone else listening out there, because there's going to be like 4.5 people who are going to play Alliance. And then they're going to be like, well, I guess we just run it back to back, because you're not going to have enough to even have a top 8. So I don't know.
I don't know. Like, Josh seemed pretty insistent when
you can be as insistent as he wants. Right? But when push comes to shove and rubber hits the road, when those 3 people pull up to play Alliance, they're going to be like, shit. So either you're going to tell me we're getting rid of Alliance because it just isn't performing, or they're just going to start, running it the way they always run it to make sure numbers go to where they need it to be.
It will be interesting to see what they do when there is a very low number of players.
Oh, or maybe Sydney will just fly in the few Alliance players,
or she flies in cardboard Dr. Sheeps.
There you go,
and they all play.
Sets them up.
And they're all gonna play Sydney decks. Yeah, that'll be a fine event.
I mean, man, back in the day, that's what we used to do. I made accounts for my kids so we could have sanctioned events over at certain places. Don't act like we all haven't done it. Don't judge us, but. Yeah, they lost all their games.
Yep, they're real bad.
They're real bad. But
there's some real bad MechWarrior players back in the day too.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, don't tell me when the 3 they're like, and the Alliance is over here, and it's like 3 people. They're going to be like, oh, okay, we got to change this, and it's going to be done on the fly again with no game plan and no sort of like thought put into it. They're just gonna be like, well, now we got to run them back to back because we don't have enough people.
So and no restricted list yet. So who knows how many players go? What?
Oh yeah, I was just about to be like, have we seen a restricted list this year for Alliance?
Nope.
Keep reading further down. No, we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, is that on the list? Great.
I thought Dr. Sheep's restricted list was pretty good.
I like my restricted list. You ready? I'm going to give you my restricted list. Hold on, let me get it. I got it right here. All right. And that's it.
And mine's the opposite. It just says all KeyForge cards.
I'm at least giving it a chance. You just kill.
So you just do anything.
So what? Just
Absolutely anything.
Bring your Magic, your Yu-Gi-Oh, and your Pokemon cards to a KeyForge event.
Bring a board game.
And I play Exodia. Does that mean I win in this game?
Yes.
Nobody knows.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
If you're looking to take your gardening skills to the next level, then tune in to the Beat Podcast, your ultimate companion on the journey to a greener thumb. We've got the best tips, insightful interviews with passionate and experienced gardeners and farmers, and real-time updates on what we're doing in our own gardens to help you grow a greener thumb. There is a reason we are the most downloaded gardening podcast of all time. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned pro, subscribe to The Beat.
All right, so we went through Vaultmaster 24. I think Vaultmaster 24 and 23 should be able to be combined into Alliance, along with all the other Vaultmaster sets that are here to come to the future. Please stop making Vaultmaster. It is terrible.
We've already been promised 25.
I know
Yeah,
we've already
here.
It's fine. At this point, we're just getting Vaultmaster. It's fine.
If you don't keep talking about it, they're just going to assume it's okay. Right? It's like, y'all, hey, are you, Draskor, you're a manager in your field, right?
Yep.
So if you don't consistently tell them that like what they're doing is not okay, they just keep doing it, don't they?
That's true.
And so you have to consistently tell them what you're doing sucks and I need you to do better.
Yeah. Preferably with different words.
I think what you are missing, Wookie, is that the rest of the world has already voted with their money, and Vaultmasters makes money, so guess what you're getting again?
In what world is Vaultmaster making money?
Because it costs them near nothing to create and produce, and they sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is actually a little sub-tier under this category but too many sets in a year. If you're looking at the difference, isn't it a difference of 20 cards between more mass mutations and mass mutations?
Something like that, yeah.
Again, it's pretty much a repeat, but we make money off of it. Vaultmaster here, very, very little that has to be done. You're pooling some cards together and we make money off of it. I know you've talked about it, Wookie, before, but whether it's a money grab or not, is that something that we really want? I don't know. For me, there were too many sets in this year. I think that's one of them, but it's all of it kind of putting together. I'd much rather have some fleshed out. Here's your 2 sets that have been laid out. They have focus for the houses. They have focus on the set design. They have been play tested, and we can eliminate a large section. They're competitive, and they're pushing the envelope. I don't know. I don't like the amount of sets, so I'll come back to that. But I see more mass mutations being similar to Vaultmaster of, hey, we're going to push it out. Is it enjoyable? Sure. And I guess maybe that's your earlier question. Does it go to the kitchen table players? Okay. Well, if it's kitchen table players and they're picking it up,
Vaultmaster doesn't, because you have to go to a vault to get it.
It shouldn't, but people are picking it up. So then, is it a straight money grab? Like,
really?
Why?
Are people picking it up? How many have you sold?
I sold a couple, and I know that they sold more, and they have less invested than I have in it. So,
to me, too many sets is only a problem because of the size of the company and the level of investment they can make, right? So if they had a big team, lots of designers and developers,
I'm so
like a massive
tired
amount
of this argument. You have a game that was
no.
just released that is doing more than KeyForge, and the team size is the same amount.
Correct, but listen to what Draz is saying. Draz is saying is because of this size, they shouldn't be pushing themselves into this. So they're not able to show us that they can execute it.
Right. Like if they had that span and could really invest enough time, right? It's just too much for they got Luke, right? And they got Putter Hurley, right? Like to
what
truly
did you just
give
say?
They have Sky Jedi, right?
Yeah.
And they've got a port of Hurley's time, right?
Oh, okay, a port of Hurley.
Yeah.
Thought you called him something different. Never mind.
Oh, I don't know.
I was like, I like Hurley. He's all right.
No, he's cool. He's a cool dude, right? Luke's funny as hell to chat with. But like
Luke's there.
There's like there's only so much time those 1.5 people, right? Because Hurley's also doing another thing, can actually put into a set, and finding all the combinations and finding, like, you can never do a perfect job, but like some of the like stuff I was talking about before, the watch me play scenarios, like if they were just able to invest more time into a single set, would they have caught more of those? Would we have had less of those? Maybe. I like to think so.
Like I don't know. Like, when I think of Vault Master, my thought is the greatest hits, and it ain't happening. Like, you've had all these sets to pull cards from now, and you're still getting the same old junk. That's for me.
That's what reprint sets are. Same old junk.
But there's good junk in all those sets, and they just refuse to pick those cards.
But isn't that coming down again to our game design and who's making the choices to put those cards in? Isn't that the hard reality?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, if we're just going to say it, let's say it then. Nobody wants to say it?
What are we saying? That
I don't know.
The same thing we've been saying all along, that we don't agree with all the decisions?
24 player head count for Worlds. Too small for Dr. Sheep, he said. Oh, I'm sorry. Ewok said this.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I definitely didn't. I had that too. That is the wrong player count for a 2LO tournament.
So one, it has issues for the 2LO. Two, the more that I've been in this game, the more I want to see this run more as FFGs. Here's a top 100. Bring 2 friends to play. I want a 300-person event. I want party. I want people there having fun playing KeyForge.
We can't have parties. Sheeps dumps people on their head.
Okay.
That makes it more of a party.
So we lose 1 or 2 temporarily.
I am the party.
But I think the short answer is that it's a very different philosophy when you're limiting it to 24. And it drives me absolutely bonkers when we have changing Vault Tour. Okay, here's how many different events you can play in. Here's how the top people are getting in and how that changes. And that's something that we all have to deal with. But if we're going to be loosey-goosey about it, then put it as a top 100. Let everyone come and have a blast and let people fight it out. But then your vaults have very little meaning. So
I don't know if allowing more people to play gives it less meaning.
I just think that there's people who can't come to these large events, and so if you're only able to come to one, you may be a great player, but you don't go ahead and you don't get a deck for sealed, and maybe you have your bad matchup, 2 bad matchups. Okay, it happens.
No, it does. I just, like I said, I don't know if expanding it to 100 player makes it less meaningful. If anything, wouldn't that make it more meaningful because you had to battle through a larger field as opposed to a 24-person field?
Mm-hmm. It's better.
It takes away the only prize you're actually playing for.
Well, I mean, we'll be getting to that shortly.
We could actually do better with prizing. So
that's coming. These are in no. I know we've given them numbers, but I don't think these are in any specific order. Really, we're just on our soapboxes.
Whiny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Low turnouts to vaults. Low lead time. Location choice. Bad prizing.
Well, at least they fixed the lead time.
The lead time has been fixed finally.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that they've changed this year. So I guess this year is going to be the test, right? Like to determine whether I'm going to be the only one to whether they're still going to do vaults or not.
I mean,
this is their test. I hate to tell you guys this.
No,
this year
I don't
is the test to see whether they will continue to do this or not. You can disagree with
It's
me.
a test every year. It's a test every year if they even print more KeyForge. That's how everything works. Like I don't know why you think what you're saying is insightful.
Very insightful.
Okay. I mean, we are.
I think we take it for granted is what Wookie is saying. And so he's saying basically that it could potentially go away. I don't think so. I think that there's a lot that seems to be copy pasted from year to year with a little add-on. And I like that we're adding on. I just don't see it being added on quick enough compared to other games. And that's where there's frustration. I think that the pricing is absolutely pathetic, and I will continue to stand behind that. I think that if we want to grow the game, there needs to be actual marketing of it, and there needs to be pricing to go ahead and inspire some people to come out. So,
hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're looking to take your gardening skills to the next level, then tune in to the Beat Podcast, your ultimate companion on the journey to a greener thumb. We've got the best tips, insightful interviews with passionate and experienced gardeners and farmers, and real-time updates on what we're doing in our own gardens to help you grow a greener thumb. There is a reason we are the most downloaded gardening podcast of all time. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned pro, subscribe to The Beat.
Yeah, I did. So speaking of pricing, there's a slight deviation, but I did listen to the latest Help from Future Self, and thought they were spot on about that they should lean into accolades, the digital accolades, get those on your decks, all sorts of reasons to print stuff. Like that is money for them. It's stuff people want. I think that's where they should go.
I can't agree that that's one part of it, but you still need physical stuff.
Yeah.
And when you're handing out physical stuff that nobody's really interested in, it doesn't give people the want, need, or sense of urgency to go to anything other than to have an experience. And if you've been there before, you know you're going to have a good time. But if I'm somebody who's never been to a vault tour, right? What is exciting me to come out?
I think there's two things that we have to be able to lean into, and I think the show is speaking about this. So Kirkman, Vault Tour needs unique things for the event. Vault Master decks are great. More accolades is great. The short answer is I want every single person coming in having something that's unique for that event that they feel special. They can go back to their locals and talk about. We've talked each year about this. That is absolutely needed. And then Morgan right above that, okay, World's Prizing was kind of meh. That experience was still worth it. And I agree, the experience of being able to see people around the world, but she said, I took second in the tournament with the most players in it, and I got one box of Vaultmaster 24, a playmat, and a pin. And that is where we have to incentivize those people who are willing to travel to multiple vaults, who are your competitive players, who want to be able to spread this further and be able to bring excitement. There also has to be some coverage and let people know, here's what's actually at stake. Let people know ahead of time. Go in that. But I think the chat is 100% spot on. Something for every single person who's coming, something that's casual that they're going to walk away with. Here's my little, Marcus had done a phenomenal job of here's the little patch that shows what this event is. I can put that on my mat or walk around in my bag, or I can have that. That is something worthwhile. We need more of that, and we need less of, here's a box of Vaultmaster 24. I do think the pins were better this year. I like the size. So, Josh, that was good.
We were talking about a year and a half ago that something like Vaultmasters was a good idea.
It was a good idea. But again, what's good in theory, if you botch the delivery, nobody cares.
Well, I think the excitement for last year,
terrible in practice, botched.
I think the excitement for last year was we had a really good set of Grim Reminders, and so the idea, hey, we're gonna see basically you put the little Vault Master symbol on those Grim Reminders decks. Now I have a chance at having a really sporty, quick deck that it's a good pull. And it's going to go ahead and have Vault Masters on it. Instead, we came to the first one in Roseville, and we got Vault Master 24 with the symbol.
And at the time,
I'll tell you, I've collected all of them. That's great, but I paid money after going ahead and winning because no one will take them. There are people who are actually giving them back this year. That should be a really big sign that it's not worthwhile when they're giving back their geotag.
Nobody's going to give them back.
Wait, what?
Nobody's going to give them back.
Yeah, come on.
That's a loaded. Whoever said that's lying.
Okay.
Like, nobody, I need pictures, or it didn't happen. Like, I would be shocked to
Was
hear
it you,
about.
Ewok? Were you giving them back?
Yeah, are you giving them back?
I'll just say that. Okay.
Right. Well, I look forward to watching Ewok give his Vault Master 24 back.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Obviously, none of us know what the answer is. I think that we just suffer so bad in this game from that decks aren't constructible, so they can't just take everybody's favorite card, print a pretty version of it, and people get retarded and want to pay way too much money for it.
They can do that!
But you can get extended art. You can get extended art.
You
can go ahead
do
and,
this. Yes, you can. You can print one pretty card, and if that card happens to be in your deck, and you are playing a deck with that card, can just slide it in. This is not difficult for the judges. Marcus and G are intelligent human beings who can read a deck list and go, too much to protect? Too much to protect, right? It's not like they're scanning every card in and they can't create it and it just doesn't work. Like this lie that they're telling you that like we just can't do that. You fucking can.
You know what?
You 100% can. You choose not to.
And knowing that all of the decks are
copy of anything.
And they can even do it
but
through
knowing
their
we're sleeved. Yeah, knowing that they're sleeved, we can do this.
Yeah, or they could even do it through their print and play so that even the sleeves are
you could have a monthly thing in your local organized play where it's, hey, this month's card is, name a card right now.
Wild Wormhole.
Red Line Rotation. All right, Wild Wormhole. Obviously, it would probably be more set based. But this week's card is Red Line Rotation. Get your pretty new foil expanded art Red Line Rotation and visit a store near you and play in your local OP. And then you can take that card, and if you are playing a deck that has Red Line Rotation in it, just flip it in. Like, this isn't any more work for the judges. They're already going through all 36 cards in your deck at a deck check. If you're telling me that Marcus and G can't figure it out, that card is Red Line Rotation just with a pretty border, give me a break. That is the lamest excuse I have ever heard in my life. Like, they are two very intelligent people.
Yeah, that does definitely fit with... what is kind of the big star that it has its own category, but is really low-hanging fruit, and that's incentivize people to play. Okay, whether that's store leaderboard, whether that's chains,
and guess what? You can do that.
If there's a car, they could do.
You can do that same thing and put a pretty a Roseville 2025 Vault Tour stamp on it, and now it's even cooler and makes people want to go there. And hey, remember, we all have those awesome Ember shards. Maybe they could make a set of cards and charge you like, I don't know, 100 Ember shards, and you get this cool little pack of cards that they have decided and chosen from whatever the most recent set happens to be that are in foil and have this cool little stamp on them. And then I can say I would
$4.95 to have that printed and sent to me in my deck.
Exactly.
Well,
and then I can have something cool that I go back to my LGS with and be like, guys, I just came from the most recent Vault Tour and check out what I got.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
I would love to see the digital accolades. I would love to see more extended art. I'd love to see a reason to be going into our locals. Wookie, there was a great idea that our local Pete had come up with for being able to use decks. We're not going to go into that here. That's a whole nother episode. But I think that there's a large discussion about what are we doing to really change over kind of the meta and to change some of those decks that are being opened and played consistently at a high end, and what's being done to incentivize people to play, to be able to go ahead. And we talked about tracking your stats. People love that. Okay, well, can we lean into it?
No.
There are things that could definitely be done.
No, because Ricardo is too busy.
Or nothing for Wookie.
Well, because Ricardo is too busy rebuilding a broken OP software. His name's not Ricardo.
Software as a whole. No, it's not.
Is that on this list?
No, that's not. I can keep adding it in the bottom.
All right. All right. Next up, so more in the head counts and OP thing. Gen Con. No articles shown anywhere. No article recap. No, nothing. Gen Con never happened. Oh, and Morgan, your prizes were better for taking second place in the Open than mine were for taking second place in a National.
Wah, wah.
Doesn't necessarily seem wrong.
Right. I think that it still rubs you wrong when we have all these recaps from everything else, and it's like, this doesn't matter.
Your heart out, and they're like, here you go. Here's your playmat, your deck book, and your one deck. You head on there now, little boy.
Well, no, I think what really is the kicker there is Wookie had access to Worlds. That's awesome. But nobody even outside of this cast, outside of the people who are there, no one would have known if parent company doesn't actually go ahead and write about it. If it's not for us, if it's not for the podcast, nobody knows. Why not?
Why not do it? Because
celebrate
they didn't do any of the Nationals, did they?
No, they didn't.
Yeah. My guess is that they didn't do any of the Nationals because they went with if we don't have data for all of them, then you get nothing.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're looking to take your gardening skills to the next level, then tune in to the Beat Podcast, your ultimate companion on the journey to a greener thumb. We've got the best tips, insightful interviews with passionate and experienced gardeners and farmers, and real-time updates on what we're doing in our own gardens to help you grow a greener thumb. There is a reason we are the most downloaded gardening podcast of all time. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned pro, subscribe to The Beat.
So the short answer is, if I don't have it for one or more than one, just too bad for those that we do have.
If you didn't bring bubblegum for everybody, there's no bubblegum allowed.
See, but I think this is what was missed at the first Worlds, is the idea of a Coda deck still being able to win it. The idea of Woe being able to show up, that someone who made the play-in goes ahead and makes it all the way into the top four. I think for this Worlds to go ahead and play off that we have people who got essentially, they shared their vows and were able to go ahead and commit their life because of this game. Like there are so many opportunities that we could be actually going ahead and marketing and
I don't know if
talking
it was
about and doing
necessarily
anything.
because of this game. I think they found love before KeyForge, but you know.
But they had got
I think
a
they
lot of
met
it comes
at
from
a
KeyForge
event.
Yeah. But the idea, like, we have stories here. Lean into those Cinderella stories. Talk about it. Why would you not? Why would you not showcase that? There have been people who have made
these could be sweet things that you put into like your live stream that somebody could be off over in the corner, like editing. I don't know, editing and doing something, and instead of just having a moving little thing that was some music, you could put little stories in there. Hey, check this out. Hey, let's have a recap from the Roseville Vault Tour, and you can have something pre-edited and play it during that downtime instead of just nothing. Because I don't know if you watch the stats during the downtimes of nothing during the streams, they go to next to nothing, and then a game comes on and people watch, and whether they come back or not, it's a whole nother story. They don't all come back.
Yeah.
That's my little hint. So
you know,
there's plenty of opportunity to fill all those down times with other things. And at Roseville, I mean, we filled most of that downtime with just John, right? I know Drazcor, you did it. I did it. I'm trying to think of who else did it with me. I think June did it for a while. I don't remember Roseville last year.
I think Gorlami was on there for a bit.
Yeah, it could be. I'd have to go back and watch, but you fill those with things other than a little bit of music.
Yeah.
I will say Morgan is talking about Shanghai Vault Tour not being able to have information. No international vaults, no nationals are shared. So it wasn't just our nationals, Wookiee and you being kind of slighted, but those were missed opportunities.
Because they hate me. Because I speak the truth. Fight the power.
No, but I'm saying it's not just your event, but
you
there's others.
Nailed it.
I know.
They're like, well, if we have to give Wookiee bubblegum,
we're not giving anyone nobody gets bubblegum.
Yeah,
you're all welcome for not getting any bubblegum. All right. Let's move into their awesome marketing campaign. This is one of my favorite CTP quotes ever. It just shows how out of base and out of touch it really is. 50% of marketing works. I just don't know which 50%. So I shall do no marketing.
So
I know you're laughing.
The claim is that this is a CTP quote. Is this actually?
That is literally what he said at the first Meet the Ghosties, and Ewok, I believe, asked about what the marketing strategies were, and like we didn't even get marketing strategies. There was just no marketing strategy talked about whatsoever, and then this quote popped out about how we don't know. So
I think I blocked this out.
That's because it's a real dark moment, Draz. Real dark. Like, if your marketing is actually hitting at 50%, one, that is amazing. And number two, why wouldn't you further investigate and figure out what is or isn't working? Like, and this comes back. Is it the idea for KeyForge that we're just content with what we have? That's what it seems to be at times from CTP.
Seems to be at times. Seems to be all the time. We are content with what we have. We are content where we are. We have no ambitions on growing. And then we want to bitch when people talk about, well, this kind of feels like all this is just money for the next game.
Well, and I think that's where the frustration is that we talk about, okay, we're a small team, but it doesn't appear that way when we see other teams that are of the same size doing significantly more. It feels like, hey, GG is very content to just ride this out, and whatever they make, they make. It comes across that way because there is no major push.
Yeah. No major push. And it's been 2 years now, so...
It is tough, right? Like, you could spend a lot of money on marketing and it go nowhere. So you got to be judicious.
But what have we done?
Yeah.
Going ahead and saying, I'm setting up a booth at Gen Con. I'm going to go ahead.
Game Found
campaigns. I'm going to go.
Gen Con's
leading out to
a pretty
dinner.
major one.
Yeah.
Yes, we're reaching out to Gamma, and we're at Gamma, and we're going ahead and talking to the retailers. Okay, well, what is making you stand out? Why do you feel that people are going to come back to this game? Because that's how they're viewing it. This game has been around. It
You know what they
essentially
should
went under.
do?
Why? Why should I come back?
At their booth at Gen Con. I don't know if this would actually work, but I don't think it would take that much more infrastructure, right? Like you could basically be like, oh yeah, hey, you buy decks, whatever, but you can right here, if you give us your information, you can order like a deck with a custom name in it. And for the 25 or whatever.
I'm with you. I think.
And now you're like, this deck has my name or has my and like do it through Gen Con. And you can only get one. Maybe this would be a ton of work. I don't know. But would you get folks who would be like, oh, this deck has my name on it. I want to play this game. And I don't know.
I mean, cool. Bare minimum, it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Right? Out of all the people that you... I hate the giving information, yada, yada, because, like, if somebody comes to me and, like, give me your information, I'm going to be like, get away from me, creepy old man.
I people say that to you, regardless of you asking for their information.
Fair enough, but,
yeah.
It's even worse when I ask for their information.
All right, fair enough.
But I think this is where we have to see the separation. We're using some marketing targeted for people who followed GameFound previously. Okay. Discovery should be new. So what are we doing to actually attract any new players? Is that all on our local scenes for people who are actually playing to go out and figure it out?
The real question is, what are you doing to attract local new players?
That's what I'm saying. Is it on us as players? Because that's inappropriate.
And hasn't it always been?
Yep. I do have to figure out what I'm doing with Discovery. I haven't really figured it out yet. I have been talking to my board game friends, like maybe I'll do a day and people can come. I don't know.
Well, my thing with Discovery is, okay, so great, Discovery's coming out. Who knew?
A very select
KeyForge players who already play the game. So no, there was no big push to get this in game stores. No big event. I mean, we do have the Discovery kits that are coming, right?
They had Asmodee send out an email.
Oh my god!
To game stores.
Delete.
So we do have so what is
informing them about Discovery and asking what they need to be able to bring Discovery in, and if you're going to do KeyForge in that. So they did at least try something.
All right, so here's a image of a Discovery deck, because I guess it's already Friday somewhere. And somebody posted on our Discord.
Yep.
Image of their two decks, or I guess this is one deck actually. And so it's a bunch of KeyForge cards, and
it's got logos, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's got logos. It does have CySforge, which is an interesting choice for an introductory deck, introductory set. But sure. It does have enhancements. I didn't think it would necessarily have enhancements. Like, I mean,
it does.
So I love enhancements, and I think it's a big selling point of the game. So maybe it was the right move to do it, but it is a little tricky to explain to new players what the heck's going on when they see, what does this enhanced capture mean? Can I capture now? No. But you can in theory sell that as like, hey, this is a really cool aspect of the game.
I think you and I are looking at two very different things. I don't see any capture.
Well, there's a draw in this image, but I'm just saying.
I don't see that either.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
If you're looking to take your gardening skills to the next level, then tune in to the Beat Podcast, your ultimate companion on the journey to a greener thumb. We've got the best tips, insightful interviews with passionate and experienced gardeners and farmers, and real-time updates on what we're doing in our own gardens to help you grow a greener thumb. There is a reason we are the most downloaded gardening podcast of all time. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned pro, subscribe to The Beat.
The diametric charge has a draw on it in this image in our.
Oh yeah, okay, that kind of blended in there.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Yeah, there's enhancements on the new cards.
Yeah, it also has that KeyForge powerhouse teleporter Chief Tink.
Oh yeah, not so great.
It looks like it had a lot of draw creatures and logos. The deck I saw.
Yeah.
That
other all-star of Archon decks, Way of the Wolf.
Way of the Wolf.
I don't know. I thought there was some interesting items that were shown from Reaper So with Way of the Pixie, so some major Amber Gain. I think that you could go ahead and KeyForge was an interesting choice to add in.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
The Sizebone Tanger is a little tricky, but from a rules perspective,
you
I
can't
like Lost in the Woods in here. I like
dumb it
Rogue
down
Operation
too far.
in here. It's true. Yeah.
You could also
I mean,
add
this seems
Not having discard pips is easier thing for beginners to handle.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I look at this, I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is probably explainable. You know, not too crazy. No,
all right.
No winds of death.
Moving into more. I don't know what number we're on now. We've probably
we added from 8. We've already gone to 9 and 10 there. You have weekly OP that we've talked about.
Yep.
There's such excitement for the Mars event. So I know that it can happen, but man, the lull between that Mars event and anything else, it was like absolute grand slam for Mars event, and then wah, wah, wah.
Well, we go through like 3 major lulls in a year. To be honest with you, let's see. We go through the lull between
the
Vault
one we're
Tour.
doing right now.
I would say between Vault Tour and KFC.
I'm about to
the one we're doing
go to
right
Necco.
now. So I guess just 2. Yep, Necco's a thing.
It's
Really, I guess it's where it fit in, but like the end of Vault season and when KFC, that feels pretty dead.
Yeah, that's dead. And then this time after KFC to whenever Vaults start up again, it's dead.
Well, store championships. With store championships happening essentially the very, very in February, March. You're looking at March. But I wish there was some incentive. Like, I wish that we are building to those store championships. Does that make sense? Like, if I have local, I can go to it, and then, I show up in March, and I'm going to play these decks that I've been pulling for Sealed, or that I think that I've been running for Archon, and I stand a chance. I want to now bring this back. There doesn't seem to be an incentive to come out, to pick up a deck, to be able to show up week after week. There doesn't seem to be anything building up to the store championships. All of a sudden, it's just like, hey, store championships, show up and come and do it. Like,
there's no reason to show up the first week. There's no reason to go. You say week after week, there's no reason to show up week 1. There's none.
Like, we have good people, and so that's why we show up. But
right, but that again,
if you're the only
community, not company.
I mean, like, what are you going to be doing if you're not playing KeyForge?
Touching myself.
Okay. I mean, the price for that isn't very good either.
I had a cup in my hand that I was trying to drink, and
I mean, I don't know. I think the price is okay. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. So the thing is that there's a lot of middle-aged individuals who are consistently playing this. There are a lot of individuals who have families, and so if you aren't being able to commit to a weekly event, it just gets sucked in to go to your kids' sporting events or to spend time with your significant other. There are other things that are always vying for your time. And so I do think that GG has to go out of their way to create a system where people want to spend time with others socially, and that there is some incentive to play their game. Frankly, we had someone who used to play with us at our locals who we see every single week, but they're playing a different game. So people gravitate towards other games for various reasons, but have a reason to come out. That's what I think the company has to do.
All right.
What if they did like flash mob advertisement? Like suddenly everybody runs in, folding tables, snaps it open, plays a game, runs away. Flash mob.
I think you'd have pissed off game stores.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Just like in the park.
Yeah.
At that baseball game, that T-ball game that Ewok's at.
Yeah. Well, the park, your cards just blow away. So
yeah.
Pretty soon
Well,
you don't
it's a flash
have
mob,
deck.
so that's okay. Then you just run away.
Yeah. I mean, at least you can reprint your decks now, I guess, if it was one you cared about. The last thing we have on our list, tournament software still glitching like a motherfucker.
I mean,
we also had the Alliance restricted list. Where is it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I added that one.
I did. Yeah, Alliance restricted list. This is more of a 2025 thing, but yeah, we still don't have one of those. We already talked about that.
This is how we get
Still
to 10.
4 weeks until store championships and the first Alliance event can happen.
So
I mean, our Alliance event is just going to be a sealed Alliance event.
That's fine, but don't spend any money till you know that list.
I mean, it's KeyForge. Don't spend a ton of money anyways.
I don't know. I think that there's been some increase in the secondary market, which is healthy. I want to be able to see that, frankly, especially as a competitive player. But people are definitely reaching out, and it seems to be more for Alliance pods because you have, as soon as that list comes out, if you have not already struck up the deal or, hey, you have a deck in hand, those decks are immediately going up in value. So it is a lot of repeat customers or repeat individuals from our smaller community. But that's kind of what I expect at this point. So I love our community.
Yay, community.
All right. In regards to tournament software, Kirkman, no, we don't actually have tournament software. You continue to use Dexa KeyForge, the tournaments that's there. It's a real source.
No, we do have tournament software that we're supposed to be using, and wasn't it supposed to be out to stores by, I don't know, tomorrow?
Well, that was yesterday.
Oh, was it yesterday? I'm sorry. My bad.
So,
what was the promise that was made to us?
Well, they did admit at Worlds that was one of the things that they messed up on, right?
Yeah, but that was last year.
They did.
This is this year. Then they said, yeah, we'll be getting out that tournament software.
I happen to know. I don't think this is a secret. Nobody told me it was a secret if it's a secret, so it's your guys' fault if it's a secret.
Fair enough.
At Neko, whatchamacallit is going to be used. What is that software? Playstyle is going to be used at Neko until it doesn't load, and we just use DOK.
You guys don't have direct access to what's his name to fix shit when it's broken.
Yeah, that is a thing. Like, I just learned this they mentioned that. Oh yeah, we're going to use it. I don't know.
According
this will probably
to
come out after it happens anyway. So
yeah. I mean,
don't know if it's
according
secret or not.
according to KeyForging.com, under our organized play, you do have access to what is organized play, and then they have playstyle 2LO tournaments. You do have access to playstyle, but again, just like we were talking about, as it has had issues at some of our vaults and worlds, pretty much every event that I've been to, it's had a issue. That's a real concern, especially when we didn't necessarily need to recreate this.
I mean, that You
There were
can
other-
do
there were
a
other
lot
softwares
with
that were there.
this, but it definitely just feels like they tried to do too much all at once with it. So, like, I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah, we didn't need a double elimination system. Everyone was more than happy with Swiss. Nobody was bitching about it.
Well, that's
Not
a whole
soul.
different.
Not one person ever said, "Oh man, I really wish there was a way
People
I
always
didn't have
bitch
to
about
play."
this stuff.
No,
But
my
guys, you're really
point
missing
is
this.
Nobody cared about like a Swiss format. Nobody was like, "Oh man, a Swiss format. Oh man, I wish there was a way I could play and not have to play all
cares
day."
about the Swiss format,
Okay,
and that's all that matters.
well,
And I think that's where the problem comes in at times. Is CTP has
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're looking to take your gardening skills to the next level, then tune in to the Beat Podcast, your ultimate companion on the journey to a greener thumb. We've got the best tips, insightful interviews with passionate and experienced gardeners and farmers, and real-time updates on what we're doing in our own gardens to help you grow a greener thumb. There is a reason we are the most downloaded gardening podcast of all time. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned pro, subscribe to The Beat.
all the power and is making some choices that we wouldn't make, and I don't know if they're the best interest for our community.
Like I love how this is like a total like attempt at marketing the 2LO system, like this whole thing.
Well, I think that the article is hysterical. If you actually look, it was published on July 25th of 2023. But I really like at the bottom, improvements coming with style, based on in no small part by feedback from the Philly Vault Tour. Playstyle is already being enhanced, improved, and bugs fixed. Players will see several improvements in the application at our next major tournament, being the Gen Con 2023 US Nationals. That
Time
was the
for an
last
update.
update.
And it still breaks.
Yeah.
All the time. Just broke not too long ago.
Yeah, I should have asked my buds if they had a backup plan if Playstyle just crapped out.
Yeah, it's called pen and paper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nobody asked for play styles. Nobody asked for a double elimination pool. Nobody asked for any of this. And nobody was complaining. It's one of those things like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But we had to go fix it. But
So I did, you know what? Actually, I did see, it's not Playstyle, but different software stuff. I saw one of the guys, I think it might have been Metal Zoa, or maybe it was somebody else. I forgot, but made streaming bumpers and treatments and borders and all sorts of cool stuff. And I saw it tonight. It's like really cool. So folks should watch
streaming
the
bumpers
Echo stream. Yeah,
around the actual.
Yeah, like intros when it comes in and it switches between views.
Are you talking about overlays and
overlays? Whatever.
I was like, what the fuck's a bumper?
I don't know.
I've only heard that
It's like
used
a
in
thing.
drug
It's a
language.
bump.
Yeah, it's also drug language.
Yeah, you know.
Well, you know. I work here, so. All right, let me go back to our list. Are we done bitching for the night? We've bitched for an hour and 20 minutes.
That's pretty par for the course.
I mean, this is our weekly cast. I will put out there a plea with prophetic visions. Go ahead, and if you're not willing, GG, as a company, to go ahead and put out gameplay so that others can see it and visualize it, I think that it will really help players. Go ahead and send it to some of your content producers, some of the people who have
we don't matter
ability
to them.
I'm not talking even about us. There are others.
None of us matter to them.
But that's a problem.
There's others that are
You have to. You
probably
have
have
to,
better graces.
You have to leverage. You have to leverage the ability to go ahead and showcase your product. That is okay. But
What are we
prosthetic
gonna do?
visions
We're
get
just
it
gonna
up.
sell prophetic visions to the KeyForge players that already play? Like,
No. This is not about selling anymore. This is about being able to showcase some of the play. So again, GG.
like, what's that get them?
It gets them players who better understand the game. It gets buzz and excitement over the new set and what's actually happening versus going ahead and trying to look at
like what they see, and it's a bad choice.
what
But
they
what
have
does it
already
cost
they've already
them?
ordered. They've already bought it.
What does it really cost them?
Well, it doesn't cost them anything to do nothing either, is what I'm saying.
So, but it doesn't cost them anything to do what Ewok is saying, right?
I think there's more risk in what Ewok is saying, and it does take them time to provide stuff and make sure what is being said is in line with what they want.
What has been told in past is that we don't have the same setup that FFG has. Don't stress. You have now Roseville with some of the camera equipment that's there.
Oh no, they still don't have the correct equipment.
It doesn't need to be super flashy. It will not be the same as FFG. I get that. But put it out. Let people see how a couple hands will be played out. It will help people to better understand prosthetic visions and future sets, and it builds buzz. You've shown some of the previews. It was after the set was basically closed on GameFound. Go ahead and open it up. There's no reason that would help the players. It requires a little bit of work, but again, you can, if you don't want to go ahead and do the work.
They're a small
there are people
team.
in
They don't have the ability to do that. They're a small team with a limited budget.
Again, the decks are there. Go ahead and make sure that you can get them in the hands of some of your content providers. Again, that doesn't need to be us, but it will help. And I do think that players who are passionate about the game, who invest way more than they need to, will be the ones who are watching, sure. But they're also the ones who have to be your best advocates to go out and, hey, get this new set. Let's play this. Let's build our local. Let's come back and let's do this.
So if KeyForge had like the new set before it came out, like that would be probably cool.
Is that still a thing?
I think so. I think they still do it monthly. I watched one not too long ago.
Yeah, Candace is there. We can check when the last one was produced, but again, yes, T-Forge and the access on Board Game Geek would be really
2
important.
months ago was the last one, so I don't know. Maybe one's
Speaking of marketing, you can actually go ahead, like the other games, you can put out a few here, win these decks by learning about KeyForge and learning about the product. It's a small investment.
Playlist yet? Oh yeah, sure enough, 6 videos.
Yeah.
Dave's hot chicken keep me coming back for.
But they were also looking to see how many watches are happening in order to see if it's worthwhile to continue going forward.
Anything at this point is worthwhile to. Well,
that's a question for
maybe not for Board Game Geek, but
and that's the question for Board Game Geek to produce.
For GG, any amount of watches is worth it right now. Any. Because they're not. I mean, it's the same people every year. I mean, we haven't heard about any major departures this year yet. But
you're pretty good at griping.
I am pretty good at griping. But I'm still here. Bookers.
He wants to make it better.
Because I want to make it work. I'm staying in it for the children, okay? All right. With that being said, I think that about wraps it up for the bottom 10. We had a top 5 and a bottom 10.
Sweet.
Just saying, not awesome. But that's going to do it. Yep.
I think there is still things to lean into for that top 5. So there's improvement. We're good. We can
I
still
mean,
do better.
clearly, none of us have quit yet.
Right. But the problem is that the list is all kind of few new things, couple of the same old things, but like we need to see traction on any of these. Like Gen Con's done, so we can throw that one out the window, right? Still though, do you guys know what you're getting for your pricing for your Vault Tours? The answer to that is
the
no.
M24 or 25.
Yeah,
the M25.
But other than that, the answer to that's kind of like no. Like we know there's probably gonna be a trophy and pins.
Playmat.
Cool. Playmat. Yep. And then VM25. So prizes still suck. Trophies are cool. Pins are cool. Please change what you're giving out.
Hopefully they're listening and do better on they do the accolade stuff. Like that would be
accolades are cool and all, but I just think again, like it's like what they kept doing with it. Well, now we're gonna lean into the special treatment, and once you like make it not special anymore, it just becomes old. Like you have to keep it special. You have to keep it fresh. Once you've gone to that well too much, nobody cares.
Well, I don't think they've gone to the accolade too much yet. So
not
yet.
We're not there yet. But like they sure killed premium deck bordering.
I don't know. I like it.
I couldn't care less.
You know.
Where are all your premium deck borders?
If they made
where they all are?
you'd be about it.
I know where all mine are.
I actually pulled mine out. I've created a shelf for them, and I'm showcasing them. So I do think that it was worthwhile.
All right. Mine are in the box. They're about to become Trascor's problem.
Yeah.
So that you can make your sets. Right.
I thought we just ship all our excess decks to Quick Draw. I thought that's what we did on this cast.
That was our pledge that we agreed to.
We did?
That is appropriate.
Yeah.
I don't know who this we is we all agreed to, but I wasn't a part of this conversation. Just saying.
But no, when we're looking at it, go ahead.
Go. No, go ahead.
Saying, like, we need to always finish with the positive. You have your organized play, your Vault Tour continuation. It's happening. They're at game stores. KFC is still nice and long. We should have another event similar to Mars Civil War. We have deck accolades that are actually here. The 1% increase was that deck clones actually happen now. Grim Reminders was amazing or horrible, depending on which side you came in. There's some home base. So, yes, which of these 10 items can we go ahead and track down? And I really think that it comes down to some set design, playing things out, spreading it into a more consistent focus, eliminating things that frankly aren't necessary, like repetitive Vault Master, or slimming down our set lists, but increase your player count for worlds and for things that are meaningful, and then be consistent when you actually have your vaults. So I think that's there. And then advertise and actually have OP. It's a lot, but I think with the right group, things can improve. Will it happen? It's always interesting to come and listen to this a year or two later and see what's happened or hasn't.
So go listen to our last year's episode. Why not?
Go ahead and even listen to some of the complaints that we had for FFG. I think that's it is interesting to see.
I mean, they haven't advertised on Pornhub yet, so they didn't take that suggestion.
No. Maybe I should just.
And now we know why they're not succeeding.
Now maybe I should just start posting these on Pornhub and seeing what kind of hits they
See
get.
what happens.
I am.
Do they take them down if they're not porn?
You could do a nip slip there, Wookie.
Yeah. Do they take it down if it's not? What if it's AI porn? Does it matter?
There's probably a whole section for that, I'm sure.
I'm sure there is, but I'm just saying, like, if it's just our voices over that, like, is that count? Do they take it down if it's not? Like, I don't really know. Like, I don't know. Huh.
So anyone still listening at this point, if there's something that we missed, go ahead and hit up our beautiful Discord. Actually, I believe
go
this
ahead
is you,
and hit up at Ewok_Jr. on the Discord.
But know that you actually cleaned up the server. It looks really nice now. So I'm proud of you, man. You did some good work, or someone
We got
did.
icons.
Yeah, they're icons. It looks very, very classy.
Yep, I did some
but go
work
ahead.
on it
If we
today.
missed something on this list, what does GG really need to fix for next year? Go ahead and put it out. And hopefully you can get some marketing, KeyForge, YouTube, content creators, get some actual gameplay. We'll see. But I'm curious, what did we miss? What did we miss?
And with that being said, we will see y'all next week.
Happy forging, everyone.
May the forge be with you.
So many directions, I don't know which way to go. I'm so busy doing nothing, I got nothing to show. I got a new low, 52.
How to have fun, anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
If you're looking to take your gardening skills to the next level, then tune in to the Beat Podcast, your ultimate companion on the journey to a greener thumb. We've got the best tips, insightful interviews with passionate and experienced gardeners and farmers, and real-time updates on what we're doing in our own gardens to help you grow a greener thumb. There is a reason we are the most downloaded gardening podcast of all time. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned pro, subscribe to The Beat.